What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we do upload PvP content every single day, so please consider subscribing to the channel if you're into that type of content. Today, starting Ultra League Season 2 first battles, and this team, despite any success you see in this video, keynote, it is super weak to fairy types, in particular the Charmers. So, because I'm leading Lapras here in the lead, and basically, if you see a Charmer in the back, because Shiftry and Giratina are both weak to it, you're gonna really struggle. So keep that in mind. But here, first matchup, Lapras into Suicune, and man, did I miss these stall matches or what? This is one of the longer matches in Ultra League. Obviously not as long as like a Lapras Mirror, but this is still pretty long and pretty annoying. Lapras does lose this matchup actually. So what I'm trying to do here is go for Surf. And honestly, this match takes so long that during this whole match, I already know I'm going to lose. So I'm kind of thinking of what I'm going to do next. Like, what's the next step? And I'm trying to think how low I'm going to get this Suicune down before I faint. And whether I'm going to invest any shields, get their shields, etc. And I've decided that I'm going to bring in Shiftry next, because Shiftry does extremely well once it has an energy lead over whatever comes in next. Unless it's like a Charmer, then it doesn't really matter. But what I'm planning to do here is just bring the Suicune down as low as possible. I've decided I'm not going to shield anything, and I'm going to bring in the Shiftry. And if I could get this Suicune low enough, which I was able to get to another Surf here, which is great. I missed some bubbles though, so that kind of sucks, but it's fine. I am going to bring in the Shiftry. So as you can see here, I could potentially shield and try going for a farm down with Ice Shard. Don't really want to do that though. Decided, because I'm not even sure if I'll be able to beat it, so I just let it go down. Bring in the Shiftry here, and I'm going for a very aggressive farm down. If we need to, we will shield of course, but we did farm down. We have enough energy now for a Foul Play or a Leaf Blade. Let's see what comes in. It's actually a Charizard, so this is horrible for us. I am going to get off this Leaf Blade though. Let's see if we get the shield. Sorry, this Foul Play. Definitely want to go Foul Play here because it's going to do a lot more damage. Get off the Foul Play, we get the shield, switch into Giratina, and Giratina vs Charizard's a very good matchup for Giratina, of course. Obviously the Dragon Claws from Charizard will hurt, but Giratina will win this match. So our opponent actually switches out into Melmetal, which I'm also very happy to see, because this is a decent matchup for Giratina. We will win this match, and we get to avoid the Melmetal facing the Shiftry. So actually both Charizard and the Shiftry would be able to defeat, or Charizard and the Melmetal would be able to defeat the Shiftry. So I'd rather honestly get this Melmetal out of the way first, because I feel the Charizard we have more play against with the Shiftry. So let's see what happens here. Shadow Sneak comes through, and I'm considering keeping both of my shields here, but here I definitely use one because I need to win this matchup, and I'm hoping that possibly, if I'm lucky, I could get the Melmetal to burn their second shield here, which would open up the gates for the Shiftry in the back. But no matter what, I need to at least preserve one shield. I tried to switch out here to farm down the Melmetal, but our opponent knew we were going to do that, so they switched out. Great play on their part. I go for the Foul Play here, and if this goes through, we're going to be in a great situation. It does. So he thought it was going to be a Leaf Blade most likely, which would have done way less damage, and now he's in Leaf Blade range. So all we have to do here is shield this up. Now remember, he still has one more shield. We do have Giratina in the back, but it's very low. We're going to get off this Leaf Blade here. This is definitely KO range at this point for the Leaf Blade. So the Leaf Blade is shielded by the Charizard. But look at this. We get to the Leaf Blade so quickly that we're actually able to defeat this Charizard using Shiftry, which is just mind-blowing. And that's because we were able to farm up enough energy for that Shiftry before we switched out of that matchup, so that we had an energy lead here. As you can see, the lag. There was a bit of lag last night. I don't know what they fixed in those 7 hours, but there was some lag. And we're able to farm down the Melmetal with the Snarl as the timer ran out too. So you can see that Suicune Lapras match definitely had some timer effects there. Sheep King 30 is here in match number 2. Gonna lead the Lapras again into Zebstrika. And I've never seen anyone. This is super spice. And the one time somebody leads this random Pokemon, they actually hard counter us. So I'm like thinking here, do I switch? Giratina obviously walls it, but what do I want to do? So once I saw how much damage that Surf did, I kind of decided, okay, I'm going to shield this, see what it's running. It is Wild Charge. That's going to lower the defense. So at this point, I could actually Ice Shard down, but it's going to require me to invest both shields. So do I want to go down 2 shields? Because this Wild Charge will likely KO the Lapras. I did not want to KO there. So I do commit the shield and I commit to the farm now. We're down 2 shields now. Almost anything except the Registeel that comes in will take decent damage from Surf or Ice Beam. Happens to be a Mew. So we go for Surf here. And we're going to have enough for 2 Surfs. So worst case scenario, we are at least going to get 1 shield out of this. If not, we're going to put the Mew very low. So we do get to the second Surf here. And as you could see, this Surf is going to be shielded. So basically, what we did here was we gave up 2 shields, but we maintained switch advantage. And we're only down 1 shield, plus their Mew is at half health. So not the worst trade-off ever there, to be honest. And I bring in the Shiftry here, trying to get to this Leaf Blade. Unfortunately, I do get a charge move. I have no shield, so I'm just hoping that they don't have anything super effective against us. It is a Grass Knot, so I'm totally okay taking that. Still does a decent amount to Shiftry, but for a glass cannon like Shiftry, that's tanking a move. So we get off the Leaf Blade and we're able to snarl down. He actually switched out, so he locked himself into this match with the Venusaur. And I went for the Leaf Blade here. Could have probably got to a Foul Play before he got to a Sludge Bomb, to be honest, but didn't want to risk it. I wanted to get any damage off because I know Giratina has such a favorable matchup here against the Venusaur. But we are still down a shield, so I have to take that into consideration here. Just going straight Dragon Claw, and we do get the last shield. So now shields are even. We have a slight health advantage over this Venusaur, although the Frenzy Plant is going to come through. And as you can see here, we are definitely outpacing it in terms of damage, but the Venusaur seems to have a lot of energy stored, and it's going to get to another Frenzy Plant. Switch timer is also coming up here, so we're going to have to expect that they're going to try to sack swap the Mew at some point. So because Shadow Claw is actually a pretty decent hitting fast move, we don't have to click the charge. We'll just keep tapping Shadow Claw, as you see there, get rid of the Mew, and our opponent actually chose to back out of that matchup. So we go 2-0 so far in this set. Drive Temptation here in match number 3, and we're going to keep on leading this Lapras. Now, Registeel's a horrible lead, of course, for Lapras, so we have to switch out of this. And I am going to switch into the Giratina here, I'd imagine. Yep. So Giratina with Shadow Claw and Shadow Sneak actually does decent against Registeel. And when they counter switch into their own Giratina, when that's their counter for my Giratina as a safe switch, I'm totally okay with this because now we have the energy lead. And that means that unless they're going to be investing shields, we're going to win switch advantage. And if we match shields, we should win switch advantage anyways. So this is the best thing you could see when you lose the lead. Bring in a Giratina and they bring in their own Giratina. It's running Shadow Claw too. If they were running like Dragon Breath, then it kind of changes things. But it's the same exact Giratina. So this is literally what you like to see here. So this is likely going to be a Dragon Claw here. It is. I think he went for Shadow Sleep the first time actually. And I was trying to calculate whether I could farm down when there was Shadow Claw, but I realized I could not. So I just threw this Dragon Claw here. Let's see if we get the shield. They do not. So they let it go through and they're going to bring in Swampert. Okay, so once they bring in Swampert here, basically I'm going to let the Giratina go down. And once the Giratina goes down, I'm just going to bring in the Shiftry. Shiftry's going to have an amazing matchup with the Swampert, of course. But I need to maintain that shield because, well, I mean, most Swamperts probably aren't running Sludge Wave in Ultra League. They're probably running Earthquake. So it's not as big of a threat to Shiftry anymore. But we are going to go here after the lag for a Leaf Blade. A lot of lag, actually. Wow. I think we have close to 2 Leaf Blades now. Hard to tell with the lag there, sort of delaying the animations. Leaf Blade comes through. He actually chooses to shield. And we actually get to a second Leaf Blade before he could throw a charge move. I had a shield that honestly, the shield there with the Swampert was definitely incorrect move, I think, in my opinion. I think the Registeel with the shield could have potentially, because the Focus Blast will KO the Shiftry, and Focus Blast will do a lot to Lapras. Lapras was at full health, but we would have probably still ended up winning that match. A little bit premature quit there on their part, I think. But it would have definitely been a close match, but I think we're going to win regardless. SC Scaffy up next, and here is the match that nobody likes to see. the Shiny Lapras mirror match. So this is probably the longest match in Ultra League in terms of time. And what I'm trying to do here is see if I can sneak in an extra Ice Shard. Didn't look like I got an extra Ice Shard there. We actually both over-farmed a lot here. Thankfully he doesn't have Skull Bash, that would really be brutal. And I actually kind of want to teach this Skull Bash, but I don't want to TM the Legacy Ice Beam, so yeah. But I kind of do want Skull Bash on it. But either way, we go for Surf there. And it looked like I got an extra Ice Shard there, but it could have just been like an animation glitch, not showing of course. Or it could have been lagging. But I guess we'll find out eventually anyways. Probably not because he hit us at the same time. So I believe he does have CMP, but it's hard to tell because neither of us are really clicking it once the charge move hits. And as you can see there, now it looks like he has the energy lead because I wasn't at a Surf yet and he got to a Surf before me. I didn't have enough energy. Now I have enough for it. But yeah, very honestly, when it lags this much, it's hard to tell who is doing what and like who has what lead and whatnot. So we're just Ice Sharding away here. And that time I got an extra Ice Shard for sure. So that was great. As you can see there, I got the extra Ice Shard. So at this point I'm like, okay, now I should have the advantage. But there you saw he got the extra Ice Shard as well in between this Surf. So it evened out again. And now we're pretty much even again. So what I'm deciding to do here is I'm like, okay, I'm gonna shield. I think I got the extra Ice Shard there too. It was hard to tell that time. That might have not been an extra Ice Shard. I choose to shield here, right? So we come into the farm down. I hit the Surf. And let's see if he chooses not to shield. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I should be able to farm down, right? This Surf is not going to KO me. But I make a huge mistake here. We're at even health. I should have hit the Surf. Because I did not hit the Surf, he didn't have to use his shield. I could have either won switch advantage if he didn't shield, or I could have tied the switch advantage. And here he actually brings out his Pokemon before mine. You can see the Clefable. You can see at the top, the Fairy came up. So I knew what was coming out, but I'm like, no, I have no counter for it. So I literally like had so many opportunities handed to me this match. But because this team is so weak to Clefable in the back, the way it's built, we're gonna lose this match. Like, there's nothing I could do here. I bring in the Shiftry, gets destroyed. Bring in the Giratina, it's gonna get destroyed. Might have made more sense actually to bring in the Giratina. Actually, it doesn't even really matter. They would have both lost. So I don't even shield at this point because I already gave up, right? Like I know I could shield. I have the shield, but like I'm not shielding on purpose because I'm gonna lose. And like yeah, you can see I could just back out of the match, but I didn't really want to back out. So just gonna lose this match humbly and take our defeat. Very well played by the opponent, and you know they deserve to have the satisfaction of charming us down and obliterating us and feeling good about themselves. You know, just knowing how badly they destroyed this team. So well played there, and that's our first loss to the set. You can see Clefable, huge problem. So in sets after, this was the first time playing with this team. OJ Simpson X is up next. In sets after this, I did choose to switch up the team a little bit, and I've been testing out different lineups. Here, Lapras versus Swampert. So this is a favorable matchup for the Lapras, of course, and you could just go straight Surf here. Now the thing about Swampert is charges energy super quickly. I thought this was going to be a Hydro Cannon. It did end up being a Hydro Cannon, so fortunate for us. Earthquake would obviously hurt more, but you could still win this matchup even when they land the Earthquake. So Lapras is quite the tank, and the opponent actually chooses to switch out into Licky Licky. So that's pretty spicy actually. Licky Licky is quite the spice pick. So I'm going to go for the Surf here, and I don't really need the Lapras necessarily for that Swampert in the back because I have the Shiftry still. But if I do choose to stay in with Lapras here, I would kind of have to ensure that I win this secondary matchup, or else he'll be able to line up. Well, I mean, Giratina versus Swampert isn't the worst either. So technically this team is kind of Swampert proof, if you want to say. Swampert could win with the correct amount of Earthquakes, but overall Giratina still does well against it. So Licky Licky here. Gonna go for the Body Slam. I choose to shield this up. And I was thinking I could get to a Surf, but I was not able to get to a Surf. So now I put myself in a really tricky spot, and I choose to commit my second shield. So we're down 2 shields now. And I was getting really frightened that this Licky was going to get another surf. I know if I can line up the Shiftry with the Swampert, the shields will not matter. So we're down 2 shields again. Swampert comes in. I'm going to let it feint me down. But I do get off this surf right before it faints me down because Mudshot cannot feint down Pokemon. Cannot farm down with Mudshot. It's too hard against the Lapras. So we do get the shield. Great. Bring in the Shiftry here. Amazing matchup for us, of course. Gonna get off this Leaf Blade here. And honestly, at this point, you have to consider letting this go, even with all that energy on the Swampert. If not, you probably want to switch out. He actually throws the charge move. So let's see how much damage this is going to do to the Shiftry. It's actually the Earthquake. You can see there, not very effective. Does a lot of damage still. Brings in the Charizard. And at this point, things are looking quite good for us. A lot of people are running Charizard. That was a Pokemon I featured in a lot of my teams in Season 1. And it's really good. But in this particular situation, this seems like too big of a hill to climb for the Charizard, but let's see what happens. Dragon Claw comes through. Obviously going to do a decent chunk to the Giratina, but you could clearly see that we are outpacing it in damage. And Dragon Claw is going to hurt the Charizard. And one more Dragon Claw is going to come from the Charizard side. And we should probably be able to farm down here with Shadow Claw in this range. And then have enough energy stored for the Swampert in the back. So once the Swampert comes in, we should be able to hit it with the Dragon Claw. And this should be able to end the game here. If it was able to KO us here, it would be... I don't know if the Shiftry had energy. Probably did. But either way, we end up taking that game. We go 4-1 in this set. And aside from the Charm weakness, this is a pretty solid team overall. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, commenting, subscribing to the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know some teams you want to try out in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.